So today we're going to be going over 10 fragrances that your friends probably aren't wearing. So really the idea behind this video is I'm going to be giving you 10 fragrance choices that you can wear in order to not smell like everyone else. If you want to be almost 100% certain that when you go ahead and spray on your fragrance and go out the door and go conquer your day, that no one else around you is going to be wearing it, your friends, your colleagues, whoever it is, this is the video you're going to want to stay tuned for. When it comes down to it, a lot of times people who aren't really deeply invested into the fragrance community will be gravitating towards similar scents because they're the most popular, they're kind of at the base level, they're easy to see, and they're easy to get. But if you want to dive in just a little bit further and take just a little bit more time to do some research and try out some different things, then you can make sure that you're going to be the only person wearing these scents and you're going to be standing out amongst everyone else. All the fragrances that I talk about in this video were purchased by myself through discount websites like FragranceNet and FragranceX, so I will link them all down below. You just click those links and they'll take you directly to some of the best prices on the internet. Let's go ahead and jump right into this one. First up we have Salvatore Ferragamo Oud. Rum, tobacco, and leather are some of the main notes in this one. And what you'll find interesting, when you look on Fragrantica, there's no oud note. So you're kind of thinking, okay, what's going on? The fragrance is legitimately called oud, and there's no oud listed. Kind of strange, kind of weird, but I can tell you, I do pick up on a good amount of oud. But it's not too strong, it's not too overbearing. I get a nice sweet rum note along with the tobacco and a bit of leather, and then of course a nice spicy oriental oud kind of making up the base of all of these different notes. This smells really, really great, especially for being an affordable designer scent. Being a Ferragamo, it is going to be affordable, but you'll find that this is a bit more expensive than some of the others. This one falls in right around the $50 range, whereas most other Ferragamos you can get for around maybe $30 to $40. So it's definitely not super expensive, but it is going to be on the pricier side in terms of the brand. That probably being because it is an oud fragrance, it's got a bit more depth, and a lot of times that's just kind of how these types of things go. You know, these heavier winter style fragrances sometimes will end up being more expensive than some of their fresher, lighter counterparts. But with that being said, this is a great scent that is really nice for fall and winter months. A great warm spicy that you can wear for most any situation when it's cold outside. And as per the title of this video, yeah, I could basically guarantee with 100% certainty that none of your friends are going to be wearing Ferragamo Oud. I mean, come on. Who else is going to be wearing this stuff besides people like you and myself? Next up, we have Lacoste Match Point. Now, this is a nice cashmerean, grapefruit, and basil-based fragrance. And it is very much a green scent. And when you take a look at the bottle, you will see that as well. It's kind of designed to look like a tennis racket, along with, of course, the name as well. That's kind of the whole theme. So naturally, you would expect a green style scent, and that's what this one is. As per what's been going on the channel lately, this bottle is packed up along with a lot of my others here in this video. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be holding up the bottle, but you get the idea. It's green, it's musky, it's citrusy, it's a bit aromatic. It's a really, really nice fragrance, and I wasn't expecting to like it all that much because of the cashmere note, but after I was able to test it out, I decided that, you know what, this is actually pretty solid, and the cashmere note isn't nearly as strong as I thought it was going to be. I'm not a big fan of cashmere, especially when it's used in a certain type of way where it's just super strong and very overpowering. Here in Lacoste Match Point, it is dialed back, and you know, it does have enough supporting notes along with it to make it very tolerable for me. This next one, we're going to be going with a niche fragrance, but this is from one of the most affordable niche houses out there. This one is Mancera Aoud Lemon Mint. So this one has oud, almond, and lemon as some of the main notes, along with a bit of a mint note in there as well. There's always controversy about the whole mint thing in this fragrance. You know, some people say, oh, there is a note in there. Others say they don't. And it's interesting, when you look on their official website, mint is listed. But if you look on Fragrantica, mint is nowhere to be found. And that's because when this first came out, there was no official mint note listed by Mancera for the scent, and that's where Fragrantica got their initial note breakdown from. So I think what happened was over time, as people started to really pick up on this one, and this one caught what I would say would be somewhat unexpected hype, whereas a lot of people really started loving this when maybe Mancera initially wasn't expecting. You know, there's a lot of eyes on this now. They decided, okay, you know what, a lot of people are inquiring about a mint note. We named it Aoud Lemon Mint and didn't put mint in. Let's just slide mint into the note breakdown to make people happy. That's kind of my guess on why there's all of a sudden mint in this. When you look on Fragrantica, though, there isn't any. But all of that aside, I will say this, even though I don't pick up on necessarily a straight up mint note, whether it be, spearmint or peppermint, there are some green facets about this one that would allude to, a little bit of a spicy mint. But what I will say, primarily for me, this is all about the lemon, the oud, and the almond. It's creamy, it's a bit fresh and citric, it's a tiny bit sweet as well, it's a little bit medicinal, it smells fantastic. And this is not your typical summer fragrance either. This is going to be something a bit different. And for the hot summer days, you may not want to gravitate towards this one. For a summer evening or just climate controlled environments, that's when this one's going to be the best. And if you want to get a bottle of lemon mint for yourself, you can do so at Twisted Lily. I've worked with them many times before, and I will leave it linked down below. And do remember this, if you shop with Twisted Lily at any time, to use the code CHAOS10, that will get you 10% off site-wide on all of their products, including samples. That code is always active and it works for everything. So make sure when you're shopping over there and you go to Twisted Lily, think CHAOS10 for 10% off. That'll save you a good amount of money when you're shopping niche fragrances. Moving along, we have L'Homme Parfum Intense by Yves Saint Laurent. Ambergris, orange blossom, and woody notes are some of the main notes. So this is a powdery, kind of a warm, spicy, sweet fragrance, and pretty much a really nice differentiation to the original L'Homme. I find this flanker to be very desirable, especially for me in the cooler months. Now, while your friends may be wearing La Nuit de L'Homme, and perhaps if they're really hip and they have great taste, the original L'Homme, I can basically guarantee no one's going to be wearing L'Homme L'Intense. I mean, this flanker really does kind of fly under the radar. It is getting more expensive. I'm not fully sure why that is. The price has been creeping up. So when I just looked before recording this video, on FragranceNet, it's sitting right at $100 for a 100ml bottle. I believe when I picked it up, it was at about 90 or so. So, the price is working up. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not going to speculate anything, but what I would say is that maybe go ahead and get one, because who knows if the price is going to be going up further. That link will be down below. If you want to set yourself apart and have a nice, warm, spicy, and smell like no one else out there, L'Homme L'Intense is a really nice option for you. Moving along, we have a nice budget-friendly fragrance from Hugo Boss, and this is Boss the Scent Private Accord. Cacao, manica fruit, and coffee are some of the main notes here in this one. Very unique, especially for a designer that is also in this price range of about $50. Normally when you are in this price range, you're floating around with a lot of other fragrances that can be a bit similar to each other. And you'll find that to be the case. The more you smell, the more you're like, okay, this stuff is kind of similar. And even more so when you get into, $40, $30, and $20 and below, that stuff really can start to run together. But I find that Hugo Boss, the Scent Private Accord, and for the most part, most of the line, does a pretty good job of actually stepping outside of those boundaries and giving you something that is unlike most other things on the market, which is always refreshing. And that's why I like this line so much, and Private Accord happens to be one of my favorites. I love the coffee note in there. This stuff smells fantastic. Another great one for the cooler months. Let's go to a Dior. This is one of my newer discoveries that I can't get enough of recently. This is Higher Energy. Juniper berries, pineapple, and grapefruit are going to be some of the main notes here in this one. So this is very much a citrus, fresh, aromatic, clean, out of the shower, fantastic smelling scent. You get a nice dose of a woody muskiness in this one. Very much just a masculine scent from opening to dry down. So you may look at some of the other fragrances here in this video that may be a bit on the more powdery side and you'll be like, that's just not for me. I'm not really into the powdery, sweet type of stuff for men. That's not my thing. If that is you, Higher Energy is going to be something you're going to want to look into because it is more of the classic cologne style scent. This is a clean, fresh, out of the shower scent without being a blue ambroxan type of fragrance, like your Sauvage, Dylan Blue, Aqua Atlantique, and so on. To me, this smells like a very expensive hotel bar of soap. And it reminds me a little bit of Platinum Egoiste by Chanel, not in terms of smell necessarily, but in terms of how masculine and clean and fresh it is. It is in a similar category where it just smells ultra luxurious and high end. And that's why this is one of my favorites. You know, it reminds me of Chanel, Platinum Egoiste, and I love that fragrance so much. And again, I'm not talking about scent, I'm just talking about the way it makes me feel and how it comes across. Great, great scent here for someone who wants something that's going to be masculine and also extremely versatile. Let's go ahead and move on to one of my favorite scents from the L'Homme Ideal line from Guerlain. This one is L'Homme Ideal Extreme. Almond, plum, and tobacco are some of the main notes here in this one. So this happens to be one of my favorites. You know, I really like the original. I really like the eau de parfum. I love the cologne, which for whatever reason they decided to discontinue. Not the smartest idea, but it is what it is. And when this came out, this just took me by surprise. I was so shocked and so impressed with this one right off the bat that I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, this is something that just blows my mind. That's how good L'Homme Ideal Extreme is to me personally. And I couldn't recommend it enough. To me, this is miles better than the eau de parfum, and I've really grown to like the eau de parfum. There's something about this one, the way the plum mixes with the tobacco, it's just so unique, and you get that nice creamy almond as well. This stuff is out of this world good. Fall and winter time, look no further. This one is going to be getting used so much by me as soon as we get into cooler months. I can't wait. And I can guarantee if you're wearing this fragrance, no one else around you is going to be wearing it as well, and you're going to be set apart from the crowd, smelling fantastic. This next one here, we're going to go with a new fragrance from Missoni, which is a line that doesn't get all that much talk, or a brand anyway, and this is Missoni Wave. Now, this one has quite a bit of a similarity to Versace Pour Homme and Chanel Allure Homme Sport, but it has its own twist as well, which is why I really like it. Sea notes, orange, and citrus are going to be some of the main notes in here in this one. So it's a creamy, aquatic, fresh, uplifting, effervescent, bright, and sparkling scent. Very well done, and when you can get it on discounters for a good price, it is worth the pickup and then some. Talk about ultimate versatility here with this. I mean, you can wear this fragrance for anything and then you're going to be fitting in and smelling fantastic. It took some time to grow on me. Of course, I liked how it smelled right off the bat because I'm a fan of Allure Homme Sport and Versace Pour Homme. But once I started to realize the different twists and takes that it has on those DNAs, that's when I really started to like it even more, and I can recommend it highly. Second to last fragrance, we have Ferragamo Urban Feel. Bergamot, ambroxan, and ozonic notes are going to be some of the main notes. So this one, it may sound basic, and sure, it is within kind of a very popular fragrance DNA, but the bergamot up top is semi-sweet, juicy, vibrant, photorealistic. The ambroxan is a fuzzy, sweet, sparkling ambroxan. Smells fantastic, and the ozonic notes really gives it a nice, uplifting, bright, and airy smell. You get some other stuff like clary sage and kind of some other aromatic notes as well. But even though it fits into that blue fragrance category a little bit, which is what you would expect by the bottle and the note breakdown, it does a great job of setting itself apart from the crowd and making it a bit different, a nice different twist on this blue fragrance DNA. And while everyone else is wearing the Sauvage, Dylan Blue, Prada Carbon, Aqua Atlantique, the list goes on, you can be wearing Urban Feel and you're actually going to stand apart from those other people wearing those other fragrances. And that's the beauty of this stuff. And I've really come to like Urban Feel. This comes in at about $40 or so on discounters like most of the other Ferragamo Uomo fragrances. That's what I'm saying. Ferragamo usually is pretty affordable. Once you get into something like Ferragamo Oud, which we talked about in the beginning of the video, it gets a bit more expensive. But here with this one, I mean, come on, it comes in at an unbeatable price point, and it is definitely worth checking out, especially here for the warmer months. And last up, we're going to end this video on another summer fragrance. This one is from Jean Paul Gaultier, from, of course, what other line could it be? From the L'Homme line. This one is in the navy. Mint, vanilla, and sea notes are going to be some of the main notes. It's kind of sweet, it's creamy, it's fresh, it's green, it's minty, and it smells incredible. Very addicting and a great one for a nice mild summer day. It smells quite a bit different than Popeye and Superman, but you know, it does fit into a similar category in terms of what it's trying to achieve, which is just kind of a fresh take on the DNA. It does that very well, and it smells so good. It's kind of bubblegummy sweet. It's kind of youthful and playful. You still do get that vanilla in here. It's just a summertime, fresh, sweet, uplifting type of scent that smells so fun. I mean, this is something that you would wear to the beach, having fun out in the summertime. It works so well, and it is absolutely addicting and mouth-watering. And it is also one of the more affordable L'Homme flankers that I found on discounters as well, so that's always nice. Pick this one up for a good price and enjoy it here in the summertime. You're going to be smelling fantastic while your friends are going to be smelling, you know, just okay or kind of bad because they may not be wearing a fragrance at all because they're not subscribed to the channel. But I get it. You want to keep this channel as a secret, you know, do what you got to do. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me. That was 10 fragrances that your friends aren't going to be wearing. If you stick with these, you're going to be set apart from the crowd, smelling amazing and getting all the feedback. And guys, remember, if you want to check out any of the fragrances that I talked about today, they will be linked down below. Just hit those links and they will take you directly to these discounters, or you can pick them up at half the price or sometimes even a greater discount than that. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.